Right, hello. Welcome to my prediction for UFC 319. It's been like 9 months since I've done a UFC video. I'm going to just quickly go over the main card and proper break down the main event. Tim Elliott versus Kaya Sakura. How Kaya Sakura is ranked number 15, I don't know. He hasn't had a win. But Kaya Sakura, I've probably got winning that. Uh don't know if he'll finish Tim Elliott. Don't really care. But I'm sure he'll do all right. Could catch him with a knee. Could catch Tim Elliott on a takedown, catch him with a knee. Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom-Page. That's a really good fight. Michael Venom-Page, I got winning that. I think Cannonier comes in, not enough movement, just too kind of on train tracks. Not enough, doesn't cut enough angles. Nobody can really deal with the movement of Michael Venom-Page, even if they got good movement. So, got Michael Venom-Page probably win that position. Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. That's a fucking great fight. Oh my god, feature fight on a pay per view. I don't know about that. It's a fucking brilliant fight. I know Prates lost his last fight, but I probably got him winning that. Jeff Neal's sad. I really like Jeff Neal, but I can't pick him to win a fight with any sense of confidence. He's off and on, isn't he? And he's been more off than on. Carlos Pratis is dangerous, young. It's like 30, I want to say. Lethal striker. Jeff Neal's going to be there to be hit. That's a bit of a shootout, though. It's a good fight. I like that. Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico making his UFC debut from Bellator. I'll go Lerone Murphy just to be safe. Out of all the people that are transferring to Bellator, obviously MVPs is probably at the most success. I had some fucking dreadful people come from Bellator. That Patchy Mix debut was fucking awful. I've seen Scarecrows with more fucking fluidity. It's fucking abysmal. Who else did we have? Pitbull. Fucking Pitbull, yeah. That was awful. Michael Chandler. But yeah, I think Pico's probably got the most potential. Still young, isn't he? He isn't the oldest. He's like, what, 28, maybe? 28, yeah. Yeah. You know, yeah. Yeah, no, that's not too bad. He could win this, but I think Laura Murphy's quite good, you know. I know he's boring, but I think he's quite good. And that kind of style, paired with the experience, I think it's going to be quite tricky for Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico's good, though. Really good wrestling, pretty clean boxing. Can kind of fall in love with his hands at times. If he mixes in the wrestling quite consistently, he could win this. Even though Laura Murphy is quite well rounded, but if he falls in love with his hands a bit, I think Laura Murphy's going to pick him apart. The main event: Dricus du Plessis, middleweight champion of the world, versus number 3 Khamzat Chimaev. The undefeated Khamzat Chimaev taking on the surging Dricus du Plessis. Really, the odds have this is plus 150 Dricus du Plessis, minus 180 Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev a slight favourite. I'm going with Dricus du Plessis to win this fight, but it is such a great fight. Such a great fight. It's fucking so interesting. We look at the two men's recent form. Dricus du Plessis is on an 11-fight win streak. He's the middleweight champion of the world. He's 9-0 in the UFC, and his run recently has been really good. Darren Till, rear naked choke in the third round, struggled there. Good performance, though. Derek Brunson, not a terrible win, not a bad fighter by any means. Good win there, or half decent win. Then Robert Whittaker, who you just seem to. One thing I've noticed about du Plessis is that even though his style was awkward and weird, you might think there's no kind of thinking behind it. His game plan is quite good. He's like, you saw in that fight, whenever Whittaker would blitz, he'd time him with a jab, and that was hurting Whittaker, and then he just got him out of there in the second round. I think that's what started the finishing sequence. Then he steps in there, gets a split decision against Sean Strickland. That was a great fight. That was a really close fight. Then gets a rear naked choke against Israel Adesanya. Then beats Sean Strickland in a one-sided rematch. And we look at the recent form of Chimaev, Gilbert Burns, who that was a war. That was a close fight, but I think he won it. I think he won it convincingly. Kevin Holland, who he fucking wrecked, just so much stronger than him. Kamaru Usman, majority decision. That should have been a draw. That's going to be a big point of that's going to be a big point here. Robert Whitaker, first round, unbelievable. Now, how do I think this is going to go? I think Chimaev's going to come out quick as always in the first round. I think he's going to shoot. He's going to get Duplessis down. He's going to get Duplessis to a bad position. But I think Duplessis is decent on the ground. I think he's going to be able to survive. And I think what happened in the Usman fight and why he gassed out was Usman kind of, with his wrestling experience, kind of knew how to place his weight. And that kind of drained Chimaev because of the pace Chimaev sets is unbelievable. And Usman knowing how to place his weight because of his years of wrestling experience kind of made that just kind of put Chimaev in a world of trouble. And I think that same thing will happen here with Duplessis, except Duplessis, it will be the physicality. And you might say, well, Kamzat and DDP look quite close in physical stature. Yeah, but you look at who Chimaev's fought at middleweight. He fought Usman, a welterweight, and he fought Robert Whitaker, a former welterweight and small middleweight. He hasn't been in there with a true 185er. I know Kamzat is a true 185er, but he hasn't acclimatized to being in there with guys of that size. I really wish that Paulo Costa fight had happened. That would have been a really good test to see how he would have done against a big middleweight. Because Duplessis is a girthy motherfucker. He's got some girth on him, yeah. And I know about girth. I'd know about. Look at my name, Oliver Murphy, Oliver Girthy. Yeah, that's my nickname. But you think about it, he hasn't been in there for a guy like that. So I think, and I don't think a lot of people have picked up on that. A lot of people say, "Oh, he goes really hard in the first round." He does, and I think he can get him into these bad positions. But I just think with that physicality, that's going to drain Kamzat. Kind of like how Usman drained him. Usman did it from more of a technicality standpoint because he's so experienced in the wrestling. But Duplessis is going to do it more from a physical standpoint because Chimaev isn't used to carrying that weight. And I think from there, the second round will probably still be. Well, the second round will be. The first round will be a guaranteed comes out round. The second round will be a comes out round, but it'll be a little closer. The third round, Duplessis will start to take over. And I think the fourth round, he will finish Chimaev. He could drop Chimaev and submit him, or he could just straight up stop him. Because Chimaev just pushes like he got tired in the Usman fight, but Usman kind of was like, "Oh, right, I'm also quite tired. Let's just stand at range and jab at each other." Uh, the Gilbert Burns fight, they were both equally damaged and equally exhausted, so they kind of even each other out. Duplessis will be fucking tired, yeah, but he won't stop coming. He isn't going to get that break he got in them fights. He isn't going to have the almost the fairness he had in them fights, and I think that's going to be way too much for Chimaev. I've got Duplessis winning by fourth round. TKO, let's call it. Let's call it a TKO. This is a short video. I have not been keeping up the UFC as much. I've been watching it, but I've not been as into it as I have been. I think the product's been fucking weak recently, but this card's good. It's a great main event. And I look forward to it. But thank you for watching. I've got to go edit 2 videos now and set up a live stream. Goodbye.